So, sometimes sitting around wasting time on YouTube can have a purpose. I was watching a video with a performer from Cirque du Soleil, and a trainer was having him go through his workout, his warm-up routine, and it was intense. And what blew my mind was at the end of it, he said that he needed to make sure his performance was the easiest thing he did all day. All right, so I want you to think about how that applies to whatever you do creatively and an artist. And that's what I am going to work with you today. So I am an artist and I've worked with artists for over 25 years, and I love helping you guys find your focus. So again, we're going to dive into this issue of that I think that perhaps your creative work should be the easiest thing you do all day. How can you make that happen? Should you make that happen? Am I being dismissive? Let's find out after this. Welcome to Creativity Control, and I am your guide for today, Michael Gilboe, and I am so excited that you came by today. What you are going to learn on this channel is all the things that you never learned about in school. All those things dealing with practice, productivity, promotion, and purpose. And today we're going to be dealing with practice. So if what this channel is about sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell up top so you don't miss an episode, and let's start to unpack today's topic. So, should your creative work be the easiest thing you do all day? What do you think? So I brought this issue up with a Facebook group. By the way, you should search for Creativity Control in Facebook groups and ask to join if you would like to participate in these discussions. I like to get some insight before I do these topics. And I posed the question, what does it mean to say that your creative work should be the easiest thing you do all day? And I was quite surprised. I thought more people might get my idea out of this right away. But people were saying, oh, this is dismissive. Art isn't easy. Art is hard. Creativity is hard. Clients don't understand how hard it is. It's hard, hard, hard. And yes, what we do is not easy, but it needs to look easy. You know, if you've been an artist and frustrated that your friends and neighbors say it just looks like you're playing, you might be doing it right, because that is what we need to look like to the layperson. It needs to look effortless. We need to be out of the way of our art. The technique and the form should not be in the way. They should just get to experience what is happening. And now, while this isn't easy, this should be the easiest thing we do artistically, is once we get into commercial performance. Nobody likes a show off. Nobody likes to see that artist who is just squeezing to make everything happen, who is just going after high note after high note and going, look at me. That's not what most people pay to see. So how can we take this idea, and let me go over this concept again, okay? What I saw. So this guy was giving his, ab workout, and it was intense. I tried it, I worked it. Wow, it's hard. The trainer, the professional trainer who was doing it along with him was wheezing and gasping. And at the end of this, the trainer said, so this is what you do on the days that you don't perform? And the performer said, no, I do this every day. When I get up and perform, that needs to be the easiest thing I do all day. It needs to be effortless. I need to know 100% that every move I make is absolutely simple. And it was a big wake-up call. I mean, I'd thought about this idea, and obviously I'd thought about that it's not great that we don't want to see show-offs. But I believe, this is one of the things they say I teach a lot of things here that aren't really gone over in school, that most of us as artists and creatives aren't really taught how to practice. We are taught how to recreate. We are taught how to repeat. We are taught how to review. And I dare say that a lot of what people think is practice in the arts are those. I've fallen victim to this myself, so don't feel guilty if you do. Especially the kind of review where we're just like, okay, yeah, and then we go there, and then we do that, and then we do the things, and it's just kind of this marking situation where we're just half-assing it. And this is not practice. This is certainly not the practice that is going to push our skills forward. And that's the only way we can do better in our performance, because our skills, performance needs to be easy. Our work, what we show the public, needs to be the most effortless expression of art that it can be. But our practice should be the opposite of that. Our practice should take us so far past our comfort zone that we're literally or metaphorically sweating to develop those new ideas. It's only doing that that we can make our simple, our easy performance go further and further. All right? So there's a famous quote that you may have heard, but what you may not realize, I certainly didn't, is that this quote is generally attributed to a famous football coach, Vince Lombardi. The quote is, "Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect." So how does this relate to all this? Because first off, when we do what we consider practice, but I'm now saying is just review or that kind of thing, especially when it's just mental, it isn't necessarily helping us. In fact, if we're just very moderately going through it, it could be setting us back. It's not only not perfect practice, it's a very imperfect practice that is perhaps training our body and mind for a different set of circumstances than what we are going to see. Okay, now, the other thing about this is it's not pushing us. Perfect practice to me is stepping outside of that comfort zone and building up strength in areas that you just don't have it. The performance needs to be easy and competent and effortless for the audience, but our practice should take us way out of our comfort zone. We should be reaching for those high notes that we can't get so that we can someday. We should be reaching for that dance move that we still can't execute right. We should be trying to do the brushstroke technique that we still haven't mastered. We should try for the metaphors that we still struggle with. Okay, this is the time in our practice to deal with that. All right? So that leads me to my central statement for this video, which is, we artists need to develop the discipline to train and practice like athletes. We need to build our strength. We need to build our endurance. We need to take these physicality things or mental things that we have to work so hard on at first and turn them into something that is an intricate part of just how we move. It becomes instinct. That's where our practice should take us. And our performance should only be those things that have reached that instinctual part. That is how we disappear behind what we are trying to present for our audience or our buyer, and makes them amazed and thinking that we are just playing in the sand and making sandcastles. So I'm going to talk about this two different ways first. We're going to talk about live performers and creatives and artists who perform their work live. And then we're going to talk about artists that are more creative behind the scenes, because there's definitely different ways they go at this. Live performers, I think, can see the more immediate parallel on this idea that your art should be the easiest thing you do all day. Singers don't want to go on stage having to sing a song that they don't know if they can hit the top notes night to night. Dancers don't want to do a hard pirouette where they're afraid they might fall on their butt half the time. Okay, actors don't want to go out only knowing their lines but not knowing what movements they're doing and being able to make them look natural. Musicians don't want to work on a run that looks so difficult, or a solo, okay, and not know if they can even play it right every time. So you need to practice hard enough that you can take your skill set further, that what you present publicly is the easiest thing that you do. Okay, so I'm not here to say that your creative art needs to be easy. I'm saying that what you do as an artist should be easier than what you do in practice. That it should be the easiest thing of your creative self that you put forward so that the audience can grasp it. Okay, and I've always said to my students and stuff that an audition should be something that you can perform in the worst of situations, that you know so inside out, that is so within inside your skill set, that if you're sick, that if you're nervous, whatever may happen, that you can just live inside this piece and it's an extension of you. So many artists who perform an audition don't understand that they don't need to show off. Okay, that's what everybody's trying to do. All you need to do is live that piece and make it look easy. Those of us who are hiring know how hard that is, and it really shines. Okay, so you want to make it look effortless, and then go and really sit in the danger zone and push your skills to the max when you are practicing. And for those of you who are performers, I'd love you to share your different ideas of how you practice to push forward and not just review and repeat. I'd love to hear all those different things for all the different artists. I'm sure other people that are in your discipline would love to hear that too. Okay, so make that comment below. All right, now we're going to talk about the non-performers of the bunch. This is where the conversation really got a little strained in the forum, and why I like having the private forum so we can share like this. And writers were like, yeah, like one gal in particular said, I'm a novelist, and writing a novel is the hardest thing I do all day. So, and she said, I've tried journaling in the mornings and that just doesn't do it. And I'm like, okay, I understand that writing a novel is difficult, but I still stand by my conviction that the work you are trying to present to the public should be the easiest manifestation of what you do. So I'm going to kind of stay on novelist for a little bit and maybe let you guys interpolate and comment below on your ideas for if you're a designer, if you're a painter, all these different things where you don't have to be out front presenting your work. Because again, I still say we don't want to see the sweat and toil. We want to see you step out of the way. So as a writer, my suggestion would be that you could work on developing metaphors if you're poor at it. If you could make an exercise where you have to describe a new room you're in. You could find a new way to describe people. All right, so I'm going to give you an assignment on this episode where what we've been unpacking is how to practice like an athlete. So I don't like to let you go and just turn off the video and walk away and forget this. I want to give you a short, simple exercise you can do right now to help take you forward. And that simple thing is I want you, even if you haven't shared it in the comments, to write down 5 things that you can do to practice your creativity, your art, whatever you do. Okay? Now, there's a catch. What you write down should be something that you can accomplish in 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Every day. Because we can all find 5 to 10 minutes a day to do something. And if you can't, we're going to have videos where I work with you on figuring that out as well. Okay, so so 5 to 10 minutes, and they should accomplish one or more of the following. They should build up your strength, metaphorically or literally, to what you do. They should build up your endurance, so you can do it longer and enjoy it more. They should build up a skill or something you do to the point of where it becomes internalized and a part of you. Okay, so one of those 3 things, maybe there's other things you can do. If I missed something that is an inherent element of practice, let me know. I'd like to have some nice discussions going on down below here. And with that, I hope you get to work. So if you enjoyed this video, if you think you're going to enjoy what's coming out, make sure you hit subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss it. And even more, why don't you share this with a friend or tell a friend what I am doing to help artists like you out. Because the best way for these to get around is for you to share. And by the way, if you're trying to improve and do something, the best way for you to improve is to go through that process with a friend. All right, so I will see you next time. Until then, I am Michael Gilboe. This is Creativity Control, and stay creative.